I remember in my high school, after each final exam I took, my friends and I would start almost immediately talking to each other and discussing how we thought the exam went. Inevitably, there were those of us who thought it was really easy, and there were those of us who thought it was excruciatingly difficult, that it was an impossible exam. There were those who finished early because they thought it was so easy, and there were those who finished early because they had no clue what was flying. And then, of course, there were always those who were scribbling down their answers to the last possible minute till the teacher called time. But from both groups of students, the ones who thought it went super easy and the ones who thought it was very difficult, when we got our marks back from both groups, from the ones who thought it was easy and the ones who thought it was difficult, there were those who did well and there were those who didn't do so well. We all took the same test, but we all had totally different experiences. One of the biggest tests in the Torah is the Akedas Yitzchak. And like the exam, there are so many ways that you can look at the experience of this test. Now, each one of these approaches could be a sheer in and of itself, but these are just some ideas that I've heard over the years that I think are worth pondering, that make you question, what was the Akeda really testing? Just to highlight a few of the possibilities. The first, the classic approach, maybe this is a test of Avram's belief in Hashem, to do whatever Hashem says. Maybe this is a test of Avram's belief in Hashem, that he believes that Hashem really knows what's best, or his maybe believing in Hashem that Hashem won't actually let his son die. Maybe this is testing Avram to see if he'll sacrifice his son in spite of all he preached to others about not sacrificing children to Hashem, to God, in favor of monotheism. Or maybe this is a test of Avram to see if he won't sacrifice his son, to see will he stand up to Hashem and say something. Maybe this is a test for Yitzchak to see will Yitzchak be a willing participant, to see how high is Yitzchak's devotion to Hashem, how high is his devotion to his father. Maybe this is a test of Avram to see did he instill within Yitzchak enough love for Hashem that Yitzchak would be a willing participant. Or maybe this is Sarah's test to say something to Yitzchak and Avram, whether one or both of them knew, and put a stop to it. Or maybe this was Sarah's test of emunah, of faith, to trust that Hashem wouldn't let her son that she's been waiting so long for, actually die. Personally, it feels impossible to put myself in any of their shoes. How would I have reacted if I was Avram, if I was Yitzchak, if I was Sarah? I don't really know. I don't think there's an answer to that. There's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos in the second parak, the fourth Mishnah, and there's a line in that Mishnah that reads, Al tadin es chavercha ad shetagia limkomo, loosely translated as, not to judge your friends until you reach their place, till, as we would say in English, till you're in their shoes. But if you stop and think about that for a second, just from a physical perspective, till you're in their shoes, well, two people can't be wearing the same pair of shoes at the same time. One of the ways that I've always understood this Mishnah is if one person's walking and they get to point A, like they get to the place where their friend was at, that other person isn't going to be occupying that same place. Two people are never occupying the exact same place. Meaning, even if you're in a situation that is similar to what somebody else went through, it's going to be different. There's no room really to judge somebody else's situation because it's just that. It's somebody else's situation. Something that I've been thinking a lot about right now with everyone dealing with this pandemic is we're all different people. So even though I might try to compare two different people's situations, mine and somebody else's, or I see two people in what look like similar situations and, not even intentionally, but I'm trying to, I start to make comparisons between how they're dealing with the situation, even though it looks like they're dealing with it in such different ways, even though their situations look so similar. I can't, because even if the two situations look identical, they're not, because they're different people. So the situations, therefore, cannot be the same. I try to keep this in mind, especially when I'm listening to people. See, with the situation as it is, I found personally more and more friends are reaching out, needing a listening ear, needing someone just to show them a little bit of empathy. And there are times where I have to stop myself from saying, I know how you feel. Well, I need to stop and ask myself, do I really know how you feel? See, just because I've been through something similar, or even, I'm going through something similar maybe right now, doesn't mean I've been through the same thing. In fact, I haven't, and I couldn't have, because I'm me and you're you. Am I truly being empathetic when I say I know how you feel, or am I merely reflecting on my own experience, my own situation, and superimposing that on you? One thought that personally has been really helping me get through these uncertain times with coronavirus and lockdown and everything else that's going on is asking myself, what am I supposed to be learning from this entire experience? Like the Akeda, there are so many ways to spin this test, and I have to stop and ask myself, what am I really being tested on? And how am I going to ensure that whether I thought this exam, this test was a breeze, or I thought it was excruciatingly difficult, how am I going to make sure that I'm one of the students who did well in the end? Thank you for listening. Hope you have a great week.